Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try to go extra long distance. So I'm going from Irvine to Huntington Beach, and I'm going to cut through Bomber Canyon bike and hiking trail. Never been on it before. I Google mapped it and it looks like I can make it through. So we shall see. I also brought my portable power bank to charge throughout the trip. I have a GT40 extended range battery on my Pint as well as a quart battery. So let's see how this goes. Now I recommend that you wear protective equipment like helmet, gloves, elbow pads, knee pads, maybe shin guards during your ride to protect yourself. I also recommend bringing a wide brim hat and extra water. This first part of the ride goes through part of the Bommer Canyon Nature Trail. It is a medium difficulty ride. If you take the entire trail, it loops around. I cut off half the ride here. I've done it before, and there's a video of it on my channel. Throughout the entire ride, you'll want to be careful of ruts caused by water drainage. Some of them get pretty deep, and if you go over it at an angle, it can cause you to fly off your board. If you'll notice, the video is sped up to 1.4 times for a good chunk of the video. It is just so that you can enjoy the video without having to sit through too much time. If you come here on a weekend, you'll notice there are a lot of hikers and bicyclists. If you come during a weekday, it's a lot more quiet and there are fewer people around. But you have to be careful because there's areas where the path is extremely narrow and you want to avoid injuring anybody on the path.
So one wheel.
Morning.
Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Now, originally Google Maps had me going down the paved road, but it looks like either due to construction or for other purposes, they've closed the paved portion. So you have to take the hiking trail, and I really didn't want to take this hiking trail. It did look really steep and looked like there were a lot of ruts. The next portion of the ride is up to Coastal Peak Park. The distance is approximately 1.7 miles, and there's an elevation change of 663 feet. The ride here is difficult. There will be portions where you will need to hike. Here's an example of the ruts I was talking about. You're gonna have to make sure you avoid those and go around, but as you can see, the surface is very uneven, so um, maybe hard to maintain balance. You're gonna have to go over bumps straight on if you can, and there are gonna be portions where you're gonna have to walk to avoid ruts.
Good morning.
So you can take us up here, huh?
I'm gonna try to make it all the way to Laguna Beach.
Whoa, good for
So we'll
you.
see.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I'm hiking here is the grade is a little bit steep for the pint. I've made grades as steep as this before, but without all the gear on my back. Depending on your weight, you may have to get off and hike up certain portions where the grade is too steep for the pint to push you up.
Morning.
Now, this section is a nice reprieve before going up the hill. So there's a long downhill portion winding back and forth before you begin the almost constant ascent up to Coastal Peak Park.
Morning.
Very nice. Morning.
Passing on your left.
Nothing.
Thank you. Morning.
Hi. 来，这个我不知道喊。
Hello.
Bike.
Hello. Hello. Thank you.
Now this is where the ascent up to Coastal Peak Park begins. There will be several portions of steep climbing where you will need to get off your board and hike, and there are a lot of ruts on this portion. Now you'll see me stop and check my phone several times throughout this trip. This is the first time I had done this trail, so I wanted to make sure that I was still on the trail and that I hadn't taken a wrong turn. I cut out several minutes of hiking due to the fact that it is actually kind of boring to watch me hike.
Alright. I'm gonna be slow. Oh, not enough power.
I'm also really slow. Shouldn't have brought my bike up here. What's that thing called?
Don't worry about it. Do your thing. I'm just gonna wait for her to go by. Whew. Morning. I need it. I want to make it to Laguna Beach and then Huntington Beach.
I was gonna ask you to pull me up with that.
Go ahead. Yes. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go to your left. Okay. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. There's a little bit of a hiking spot in the middle.
Oh,
There,
yeah. Are you gonna go down on
yeah, I'm gonna go all the way to Laguna Beach and Huntington Beach.
Oh my God, Steve!
You too. Have a good day.
This part of the trail is pretty flat and is well shaded with a 73 toll road going over the top. I would suggest stopping here to hydrate, rest, and cool off before proceeding to the next portion because it is quite steep. So this is the high point of the ride. This is Coastal Peak Park, and if you look to the left, you'll see an arrow showing where we started at the beginning of this ride. And it is a significant elevation gain. If you do plan to go back to Bomber Canyon Park, if you park your car down there, this is probably where you want to turn around and head back down. Because if you go down to Crystal Cove, coming back will be extremely difficult. The correct route is going to be to the right. So when we start back up here, we're going to go to the right on Pacific Ridge Trail. And it's going to head down Onewheel Canyon Trail to Crystal Cove. It's about 2.6 miles. Elevation change going down 997 feet. And this portion is probably the most difficult section in terms of terrain. There's a section with exceptionally rough, hard rock that is difficult to traverse, and there's loose rocks as well, so there are areas where you will have to get off your board and walk downhill, as well as a few peaks where you have to walk up due to how steep the terrain is. I was actually very optimistic initially when I was going over this portion of the trail. I was thinking that perhaps it was going to remain nice and wide like this and flat with very few ruts and a nice hard packed surface. But as you can see in a little bit, I was incorrect. So you can see the ocean in the distance, and you can see the trail going down, and you see a peak in the distance as well. You will actually go down and back up over that peak, and I believe there's a few other smaller peaks after that before you do a consistent downhill um, path.
hard too because on the steep parts I have to carry it. Hello?
This is one of the difficult portions I was talking about. As you can see, it's extremely hard rock and it's not smooth. A lot of uneven surfaces with ruts on both sides of the path and in the middle of the path. So you have to carefully select your
It's
route
easier than
in
you
order
think,
to
but
get down this.
every once in a while it gives out and you crash.
Good rocks.
I actually ended up losing the board and had it roll down the hill. You'll see in a little bit. So your pint will probably take a little bit of a beating on portions of this trail.
Morning or afternoon, whichever one.
Good morning.
Morning, alright.
It's kind of weird. At this point, I noticed that my rear clearance seemed to have decreased, and later on I found out that somehow the settings on my board went from skyline mode for the digital shaping to elevated mode. Unsure how that happened, and if anyone else has had this issue where it's randomly changed shaping profiles on you, let me know in the comments below. But as you can see, the board kind of rolled down the hill at this point too. It ripped the Velcro off the bottom of my GT40 battery pack, so the only thing holding it on at this point is the elastic strap, and even the elastic strap ended up pretty frayed. But it held on. I replaced the Velcro when I got home, and it works just fine.
Hello. Go ahead. Don't let me slow your hike down.
We want to see.
Oh, you want to watch?
Cool.
I'm about to crash.
Very cool. Very tricky.
Ah, it takes a little practice. I made it down the hill. Look at that.
As you can see, the rocks here are so uneven and jagged that I decided just to walk down this portion. It was going to be more work trying to navigate down on the board. Once I passed this portion, things got a little bit easier.
Morning.
I decided to stop here on the left for a few minutes because the clearest line to go down this hill was on the left-hand side, left of this large rut, and there were people coming up the hill. So once they came up the hill or moved over, I went down the hill.
Hello? Yeah, thanks. I was just waiting for it. Get a good time, good chance to rest. You guys waiting for the crash, aren't you?
I don't want to come back up.
As you can see, the board in elevated mode makes downhill traverse very difficult. I usually run skyline mode all the time, and I think that would have been a better mode to go down this hill. If I had known I had switched to elevated mode, I would have switched it back.
Hello? Thank you.
So from here all the
Thank
way
you.
down to Crystal Cove is actually relatively easy. There's a large rut right here where I got off the board, but I think pretty much all the way down from here it was pretty easy going.
Passing on the left. Thank you, sirs. make sure I go the right way. Or else I'm lost forever.
How much battery you got in that thing?
So this will last me 20 miles.
Whoa.
And I've got a battery pack that'll charge it up 5 times.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, I gotta make the Huntington Beach and back today.
Wow.
if you want to avoid going through the parking lot, you can go through the trail on the left that's pointed out by the red arrow. That will take you through, I think, some campground areas that will pop you out right at the tunnel that goes to the beach. So overall, I traveled approximately 6 miles. Took me about 2 hours with my break in the middle, and the elevation change was significant. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you can give it a try.
Yeah, so this is the reward. We're going to Bommer Canyon. Gotta stop and charge real quick. Continue on our way.